Hello and welcome to the first top junglers of Season 9. Since I released the last top junglers, we have seen quite a shakeup, basically everything just getting nerfed and a lot of chaos going on in the jungle meta, jungle XP nerfs, along with damage and champion nerfs. So in this one, we're going to be looking at how the meta has shifted up, and again, this is not a cut and dry tier list, just some of the best champions that you can use in solo queue right now to climb and to win, with options for every single MMR. So if you are having good luck with what you're playing and I don't list it, keep on going, but if you're considering something new to play, consider one of these stronger options. And for those of you looking for the best win rate runes, U.GG has sponsored this video, and their fast and easy builds and runes feature for any of these champions will give you the best chance to succeed right away. They have also now added a profile page feature whereby you can select your region, enter your summoner name, and get a full breakdown of your best champion win rates overall by position and how you've been performing recently. Dive deep into your match history and advanced stats to further improve your game. So if you're inspired by one of these champs in this video, look up their runes, play some games, head to your profile and see how you did using U.GG for all of your League of Legends needs in 30 seconds or less. Now heading into our top junglers, the first page are probably the best all-round junglers in the patch with options for damage and tanks as well as AP. And naturally that begins off with Karthus. In a world where jungle XP has been nerfed, Karthus clears the jungle at a resounding pace, has pretty decent pre-level 6 ganks, and then of course at level 6, you don't even need to be alive to get off damage to kill someone. Free stacks on your harvest, free scaling, and basically, you know, a lot of things that are wrong with certain junglers, he has it, so don't be surprised if he has some nerfs in the upcoming patches. He definitely sits at the top, but not right far behind him is Kha'Zix. Yes, the damage nerfs and the changes around the game have nerfed him a little bit, but he is still a very powerful damage jungler. You have multiple evolve options, you have very strong isolation damage, and all the good things that make Kha'Zix good are still around. He has a few more counter matchups at the moment which have brought him down, but nonetheless, he's still a top tier pick. And the boar is back. Sejuani, after having her buffs and with jungle XP nerfs which benefit tanks who don't need as much XP and gold in order to get their item spikes, and they can still be useful with their tankiness, CC, and durability. Sejuani with her actually decent damage basically should be seen quite often in the high elo, but is a very good pick in mid, even low MMRs if you need a tank option. Probably the best and safest all-round tank if you can play her well. Now, on that note, Kindred has sort of risen up a bit in terms of damage junglers. With the nerfs around other carry junglers as well as damage in the game, Kindred does very well into tanks, has multiple build options, can really scale better than anyone because of the mark system, so isn't as hindered by jungle XP and gold nerfs, and they are definitely the best marksman jungler at the moment. Naturally, Kha'Zix and Ivern can present difficulties, but with that ultimate against Karthus, it turns into basically a timing and skill battle, which I've done a video about myself. So if you're looking for strong scaling, build versatility, and carry potential, Kindred is for you. The second tank on this list, well, with the repeated buffs to Nunu and basically a lot of strong matchups in his favor, he's easy to pick up, easy to use. Naturally, he has an issue when he's behind, but if you can get ahead and you can get your laners ahead with really strong early presence, lane ganks, you have unprecedented dragon control, Rift Herald control, Baron control. With your Consume Smite, you can heal up nicely, and your team fighting tools are very, very strong also. Now, some people have dropped Xin on their list of strong champions. However, you take that Hail of Blades and you have strong early pressure, level 2 gank memes, level 3 gank, keep the pressure up, and you can close games out with your powerful mid-game and early game damage, you will definitely be winning a lot. Now, the next two pages feature a lot of junglers that are all approximately the same in terms of power. I've just distributed them a little differently, so don't be offended if one's on the third page and not the second. Again, it's not a cut and dry tier list. But we're going to start off with Ivern, and that's because a lot of high elo junglers have said how strong he can be, and he's definitely stronger in high elo than he would be in lower, considering you need strong lanes and you have an inherent supportive playstyle. Because he clears so fast and efficiently, his items are cheap as well as supportive shields. Daisy is just annoying. He is a very good pick if you are looking to climb and have someone you can play with, especially mid to high MMR range. Now, Jax is a bit lower than he used to be, but do not be fooled, this champion is still very strong in the top lane and the jungle. A lot of people don't like him in the jungle, but if you look at the win rates, he is still there. He's still keeping a high presence. If you like that fighter style, ganking, and basically as soon as you hit that level spike, that item spike, you can become a split pushing menace, which is fantastic in the silver and gold ranges where you want to continually apply objective pressure even if your teammates are taking bad fights. Now the next tank is Ramus. He is still fast, he is still powerful, he still does what he needs to do, and he's great against AD champions. So if those ADCs are getting more powerful and you are having issues with them, go gank their lanes, snowball your bot lane, and basically render the enemy ADC useless. Kayn recently had some buffs. Well, by buffs I mean really nice quality of life changes. Means you can get the form you want sooner if you don't unlock it first. Ras is still the better champion overall. Blue Kayn is situationally good. However, Red Kayn can get kited out quite easily versus, a huge DPS, rangy kind of team comp. So being able to see your progress in-game and control that a bit more is very useful. Remember to count on jungle, get in and out, skirmish, gank. You want to get your form as soon as possible, so don't sit around farming and complain when your lanes all lose. And next we have the two fantastically weird champions, Udyr and Master Yi. Both of them have their own respective power set. Udyr's win rate is still very strong. He does inherently have problems as a champion, but his effectiveness, if done right, can be a game changer. Just make sure you are being annoying. And for Master Yi, his success even at the higher elo now cannot be ignored. A lot of people say, well, it's very easy to play against him, CC him, or if you play Master Yi, I'm just gonna take you out of the match. Well, it's never that simple, really, is it? And Master Yi eventually will hit that zone where he's gonna, do this to your team. So keeping him under check early and mid game, don't basically let him do what he wants, punish him. But if you are the Master Yi, eventually you're going to be very difficult to deal with. So do try have their presence even in the early game. You're not trying to AFK farm. Balancing that PvE with PvP is important. And when you get those item spikes and you get those levels, you can be nigh unstoppable against uncoordinated teams. So if you are playing him in the low and mid MMRs, he can definitely be a free ticket if you know how to play him correctly. Now AP junglers dropping down a little bit with damage nerfs. Evelynn has a few more counter matchups in the jungle that are doing very well at the moment. She still is effective, but Rush to 6 junglers did take a little bit of a hit. So when I released my video on Evelynn about 2 weeks ago on the jungle nerfs and how to use her, you can watch that if you're looking to really bring some impact that's shifted and based around the nature of the current meta. Now Jarvan received buffs to his flag, just a nice little 5% increase on the attack speed, which has brought him up just enough to make him once again a viable pick. Great level 2 ganks, good crab control, game-changing ultimate. If you are bringing the impact, if you are bringing good jungle pathing, as well as the option to go damage, as well as tanky, he's an extremely versatile pick for all MMRs, especially now that the sort of similar playstyle in Camille is going to be going away when they remove the stun from her E on jungle monsters and focus on balancing her on the top lane. Now Graves' win rate is a fraction of what it once was in Season 8, where he was dominant for a very long period of time, and so a lot of people might not like to see him show up this soon in the video, but he has become more of a counter jungler, and with people becoming wise to how to balance around crabs, yes, you can win a lot of level 2 duels, but if no one comes to fight you around the crab area, then you kind of lose that impact. And statistically, he has a lot of weaker matchups from stronger junglers at the moment, especially in this video. Evelynn, Rammus, Nunu, they all do very well against him on this particular patch stat-wise. However, if you are good with Graves, you understand jungle pathing and pressure, as well as when to gank, when to counter jungle, you can still have a lot of success with him. Kindred is a better marksman jungle overall, I think, but at the same time, you can still have impact with Graves. Just, it's not a free win as it used to be. With the buff to Shyvana adding, or basically doubling her damage to dragons, as well as buffing the percentage max HP damage to her E, her win rate has gone up a bit and she has a bit more viability. She still has some inherent problems. In a gank heavy meta, she doesn't bring as much CC and burst to her presence. However, her objective secures her ability to have versatile build paths from attack speed tank into AP as well, if you like that playstyle, gives her a bit of a niche presence in the jungle market and definitely has a place where she didn't before. And now improving in win rate, pick rate, and showing up on this list is Vi. Hail of Blades proved to have a lot of synergy. We even saw a nice bout of clickbait videos just on that topic. With Right having eyes to move Camille back to the top lane and away from the jungle, Vi brings, even while less optimal, a similar kit into the meta. Now it's worth noting that in the next patch 9.4 they will be bringing potentially some very drastic changes to the nature of her numbers and what her kit does, being a bit more tanky with her engage, giving him more survivability. So the damage Vi builds might not be as effective, but her win rate might go up and she might even have more presence. So keep an eye on the patch notes for 9.4. And finally, I've put Warwick here. He is not in the best state, but he is in a good state. He is in a very neutral position where he's not too strong, he's not too weak. He does fall off as you get into the high elos. I did use him myself to climb a decent amount, but that's starting to become less effective given that he is a very predictable champion, and when you go that more tanky route and you have nice engages like this one and your team follows up, it can be really devastating. But if you are going a more squishy route with, say, Warrior even, and the game doesn't end too soon, it can be kind of a rough time in terms of being kited out and CC'd down. He does present the option for early Rift Heralds, strong solo dragons, and with a very nice early ganking presence, presents options to repeat gank, especially at level 6 if you've previously burned some flashes. So using Warwick and his power state in that early and mid game is very important to your success with him. Now we move on to some strong or viable alternatives that you can use. Pantheon is a decent pick, but again, more for teams that know what they're doing, know how to close games out. Very good early pressure, simple to play, not too difficult to worry about. Rengar, on the other hand, has not had the best time adapting to the nerfs in the jungle in terms of experience as well as damage. Getting that level 6 is important, but if you don't really get anything going early, it can prove to be a really rough road for him. High skilled Rengar players are still having success, so advise watching some of the best players in the world on Rengar. Go look at their replays and see what they're doing to find success, but remember that I still don't recommend him as a low elo, definitely not low elo, and not even a mid MMR pick in terms of climbing. However, I do kind of recommend Volibear for that. He still has inherent problems being kited out, very predictable kit, but the buffs to his E in the last patch proved to be quite useful, gave him a nice little boost in the win rate department. Very strong against those who really underestimate his bite and go in 1-by-1, and if you can have a lot of camping and good early presence, you can get yourself fed and pretty much 1v1 anyone, getting the right items to deal with ADCs and avoid being kited out, especially depending on your MMR range, where kiting might not even be that efficient and they aren't actually able to do it properly. It's a free kill for you as Volibear. Now Shaco, again, damage nerfs and the systemic changes around the jungle affect how you play the champion. He's definitely much better late game, playing sort of like a Graves, because you get those items, you become very powerful and sneaky. You don't really want to play like an Udyr where you're running into the enemy jungler trying to beat him down with your Tiger Fists. Finally, Elise, she is sort of the neutral standard. If everyone else is weak in the jungle, she will be strong. She's definitely not OP, she's definitely not weak, she's just a good position, but again, I only recommend in the higher MMRs. Don't pick her up in the low. You don't have the jungle knowledge or mechanical ability to sort of harness her raw strengths in that sense. Wait until you've risen a bit higher and you get more acclimatized to the game and to jungling before you pick someone up like Elise. And I will throw out some honorable mentions to champions like Amumu. Decent tank, I just think they're better options at the moment. Rek'Sai, really good at high MMR if you know how to use her, but not really great anywhere else. And they will be bringing changes to her in the next patch along with the Vi changes. So keep an eye on these champions in case, you like to play them and their power state becomes better and more accessible for everyone, then you can definitely go ahead and use her. Finally, be wary the nerfs coming to Camille, potentially to Karthus and other junglers, as well as the changes to Conqueror. All of these things can affect the jungle meta, but I'm pretty sure that this list will help you climb and win in this early season, definitely for patches 9.3, 9.4, and perhaps even further along. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and comment if you did enjoy. Consider joining us on YouTube to become an official member and support the content. Subscribe for more jungle and League of Legends videos coming very soon. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.